Rabbi Kornsgold. Shana Tova, everyone. Shana Tova. Thank you for inviting me to Family Minyan. It's wonderful to be back with Family Minyan, which I don't get to be with enough anymore, but it's wonderful to be together today. It's okay. I'm just going to get organized here. It's okay. We're good. Today I'm going to, I'd like to talk about hope. The truth is, I probably didn't need to talk about it because we just saw it right there. Emma, leading us in Oseh Shalom. They are children. That's why I think we're here. That's why we continue to do this. Yael, sounding the shofar, learning from Nathan. Did you start that young, Nathan? She did. I know. Beautiful. And I'm not going to talk about the hope that I know we all have for the Dodgers, specifically the Dodgers bullpen. In full transparency, I was not watching the game last night. I was with my brother-in-law at his house for Rosh Hashanah dinner. He saw the score up by 1, 9th inning, and he had to turn it on, and I tried to avert my eyes. And I wanted to avert my eyes because if those who follow, will figure it out. By the playoffs, what do we have, 5 games to go? 1.5 up on San Diego? Okay. But that's not what I'm going to talk about, even though I just talked about it. What I do want to talk about today is hope. And I'm going to start with a story that took place, it's been a long time, from my service in the Israeli army. I just started basic training on a base in the south of Israel. It was 4 a.m. When my friend Menachem woke me up. And I was a little confused. It was one of the first nights, and I was a little confused as to why he was waking up. Then I remembered he was waking me up for my turn for guard duty at 4 a.m. outside our barracks. And the world outside, of course, was pitch black and quiet and heavy. Some of you might remember moments like this. Mike Delinka, you may remember this moment. You may have had a similar moment. Quiet, but towards the end of the march, towards the end of my shift around 5 a.m., I started to hear something. I started to hear what first was very faint and then got stronger and stronger and stronger, and it was actually singing. And it was these words. The words are, repeat after me, Am hanetzach lo mefached miderech aruka. And this is how it goes. We're going to sing it together because I know Family Minyan likes to sing. So we're going to teach you a new song, just the first part. And it goes like this. Am hanetzach lo mefached lo mefached מדרך ארוכה, העם הנצח לא מפחד, מדרך ארוכה, כן, העם הנצח לא מפחד, מדרך ארוכה, העם הנצח לא מפחד, מדרך ארוכה, העם הנצח לא מפחד מדרך ארוכה. As the sun began to rise, a deep, soulful chorus just like this one cut through the silence of the night. These words, Am hanetzach, the people who have lived forever, the eternal nation, is not afraid of a long journey. It was a group of benishim. That's an acronym. There are a lot of acronyms in the army. Benishim, Bnei Yeshiva. Yeshiva students returning who were in their service together, returning from what I would find out, a brutal masa, a long, arduous march, drenched in sweat, exhausted, barely able to stand, yet singing these words with every ounce of their being and every ounce of their spirit. And yes, they were singing about that moment, but they were also singing about us, about Am Yisrael, about a people who have been walking through history for thousands of years and who are still here. How? How does a people endure so much? Exile, destruction, pogrom, Shoah, and still, October 7th, and the ensuing days, and still sing. Rabbi Joe Wolfson, a community organizer in Israel, reflected on this not so long ago, and he reminded us that the machzor we hold in our hands today has been opened in generations past by Jews facing very real life and death moments. Crusade-torn Europe and the ghettos and Soviet basements, and yet they prayed. And they didn't do it because they were naive. They did it because they were hopeful. Wolfson says it's not a contradiction. It's the very opposite of a contradiction. Jewish hope emerges from our deepest pain. Not in spite of it, but through it. That's why some of our most extraordinary moments were born from our lowest of moments. The Talmud, from the destruction of the temple, Zionism from the terror of the pogroms, the state of Israel from the ashes, from the smoke of Auschwitz. There's a beautiful Hasidic teaching on the verse from Psalms, which I know, we sing it often. Shir Lama'alot, Esa Einai El Ha'arim, Me'ayin Yavo Ezri, Esa Einai. Me'ayin Yavo Ezri, a song of ascents. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. From where will my hope come? The Hebrew word me'ayin, usually translated as from where, but the Hasidic masters read it differently. They actually break it down and they read it as me'ain, from nothing. In other words, my help comes not just from the heights, but from the lowest of places, from the void, from the moments that feel like all is lost. This, according to the Hasidic masters, is where redemption begins. It's where hope is born. We don't bounce back to where we were. We forge ahead to places we've never been. And it's not just psychology. It's deeper than that. It's spiritual. It's Torah. Because our strength doesn't just come from grit or personality. It comes from our tradition, from the way Judaism teaches us how to grieve, how to pause, how to make things right, how to find our way back. It comes from mitzvot that build communities, grounded in meaning, in commitment, and in showing up for each other, as Lori spoke about so beautifully about family. Showing up for each other. It comes from tshuva, which tells us that no one is ever too far gone, that we're never stuck where we are. It's a holy kind of resilience, a sacred way of living that takes even the hardest of moments and somehow helps us to grow from them. That's exactly what we see in the prophet Ezekiel. He's in exile in Babylon after the first temple has been destroyed. One day he's given a vision, a valley of dry bones. You may remember the story. Scattered, lifeless. God asks, can these bones live again? And Ezekiel answers, only you know, God. And the bones begin to rise. Bodies form. Breath returns. Life is reborn. And God says, these bones are the people of Israel. And they say, our hope is lost. It's a devastating moment, a people broken, but that wasn't the end of the story. In 1877, a Jewish poet named Naphtali Herz Imber arrived in pre-state Israel, inspired by the Chalutzim, the pioneers, building a new future. He wrote the poem Tikvatenu, our hope, where Ezekiel's people cried, our hope is lost. Imber answered across centuries, Od lo avda tikvatenu. Our hope is not yet lost. We believed him. We sang his words. We built a nation around them because they captured something eternal. Hope isn't wishful thinking. It's not optimism. Optimism is a passive virtue, but an active one. Hope is an active one. It needs no courage to be an optimist, but it takes a great deal of courage to hope. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Zichrono Livracha, taught beautifully how hope is the gift of Judaism to the world. Western civilization is the product of 2 centuries, ancient Greece and ancient Israel. The Greeks believed in fate. The future is determined by the past. Jews believe in freedom. There is no evil decree that cannot be answered. The Greeks gave the world the concept of tragedy. Jews gave it the idea of hope. He continued, the whole of Judaism is a set of laws and narratives designed to create in people families, communities, habits that defeat despair. Judaism is the voice of hope in the conversation of humankind. We all know this past year has continued to test that hope. It's been almost 2 years since the horrors of October 7th. We watched the world's sympathy evaporate overnight. We saw hostages taken, families shattered, soldiers killed. And anti-Semitism once again walks freely through our streets. But we also saw something else. We saw the Jewish people do what we have always done. We didn't give up. We didn't hide. We didn't break. We showed up in rallies, in synagogues, in homes, in WhatsApp groups, in vigils, in volunteer missions. We sent supplies. We gave tzedakah. We lifted each other and our people. An incredible example of this. Sinai Akiba Academy, 8th grade, was set to leave for Israel on a Sunday in May, the same Sunday that a Houthi missile landed at Ben Gurion Airport. At 4 a.m., I called our head of school, Dr. Lauren Plant, and I said, Dr. Plant, what are we going to do? And we decided that we were going to get on a Zoom call with all the parents to talk about whether or not we are going to go. At 8 a.m., we jumped on a Zoom call. We needed to be at LAX at 10 a.m., and one by one, parents unmuted, and they said, what makes today different than yesterday? We have known all along of the risks. We still are sending our children. One by one, each parent stood up and said, we are going. Od lo avda tikvatenu. Our hope is not yet lost. Finished our Zoom call and sped to the airport. And we met this incredible group of 8th grade students and went to bring love to our brothers and sisters in Israel. We lifted each other. We lifted our people. And it's not just resilience, it's Jewish hope in action, it's tikvah. So yes, the road ahead is long, and yes, it's painful, and yes, we are tired. But we are Am HaNetzach, the eternal nation. And we're not afraid of a long journey because we've walked it before, because we walk it together, and because we carry something deeper than fear. We carry a promise that hope is never lost, that no matter how broken our bones feel, no matter how dark the valley, life can rise again. So this year, 5786, let us pray. Let us pray for peace. Let us pray for the return of our brothers and sisters still held captive. Let us pray. Let us pray for All of Am Yisrael. Let us pray for all innocent civilians. Let us pray for an end to war, but let us act with hope. Let us love with hope. Let us dream with hope. Because we're not done writing the Jewish story. And we have to believe. We have to believe that the best chapters are still ahead. Od lo avda tikvatenu. Our hope is not yet lost. Shana Tova.